when you feel like you've had a sales call and you feel like it's gone amazingly well, and then you don't do anything. And they say that they're going to email you, and they say that they're going to talk to their partner, and they say that they're going to invest, they just need to sleep on it, and then they ghost you. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you here in this live today. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. So when a client ghosts you, so you feel like it's all gone well and then you get absolute tumbleweed. Now, my first tip for you is this: prevention is better than cure. Okay, so yes, I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with it, but actually prevention is better than cure. If you can prevent your customer from ghosting you, if you can prevent that, that's absolutely better than fixing it. So the things that you can do to prevent it are to ask better questions. Ask better questions on your discovery calls to make sure that you've drawn out from your ideal client, from the person on your discovery call, that you've drawn out from them what they want and why they want it. Okay, so the three golden rules of a discovery call to prevent the client from ghosting you and not making a decision at the end are to create desire and urgency on your discovery calls. You must create desire and urgency. It's not enough to want it, they've got to want it now. So create desire and urgency. The second tip is ask those big open questions. Why do you want the outcome that you want? When do you want to achieve the outcome that you want? How are you going to get there? What does the result that you're looking for look like? What is the transformation that you're looking for? Okay, so you need to ask those big, bold questions. The questions that are open questions start with the words who, what, which, how, where, why, when. Yeah? Who, what, which, why, how, where, when. Do you want me to say that again? Who, what, which, why, how, where, when. They are your open question words. The other ways that you can be sure that you're asking an open question, which gets information coming from your ideal client on your discovery call, is to ask questions that sound like, tell me all about that. Describe to me what the future needs to look like for you. Yeah, paint me a picture around the result that you're looking to achieve. Okay, so you can ask the who, what, which, why, how, where, when questions, or you can ask, tell me, describe to me. Yeah, tell me how you feel about this. Yeah, so ask better questions is the second tip for preventing the ghosting situation. And the third tip is to always agree next steps. Always, when you get to the end of a discovery call, if the person says, I love what we've talked about, I really feel a connection with you, I feel like we might be able to work together, but I need to think about it. You know, I need to sleep on the decision. I need to talk to my partner. I need to mull it over. I've got another coach I'm speaking to. I'm going to, weigh it up between the two of you. Whatever the reason that they give you for not making a decision there and then, I would encourage you to always agree next steps there and then in the discovery call. So if the client says, I need to think about it, you need to say, that's absolutely fine. When shall we talk again? When would you like me to get in contact with you? Okay, because the reason that you're being ghosted is that you've allowed the call to end in a way that's like, yeah, okay, so I'll give you an email tomorrow. Yeah, okay, bye. And then nothing. Yeah, because you haven't agreed next steps. So prevention is better than cure. And the three tips are create desire and urgency, use open questions, big, bold questions to find out what they want, why they want it, how they want it, when they want it. And the third one is agree next steps. Always agree next steps. And that will really help you to avoid being ghosted by your client after a discovery call. Okay, so let's say you weren't able to avoid it now. I'm going to give you some tips for how to follow up. So, you wake up on the day where you think that your client's going to come into your inbox and say, I want to go ahead, and still nothing. And you have the questions going around in your mind, right? I want to chase them up. Is it too soon? Will I sound like a nag? Will I send them running in the other direction if I chase them up now? Should I wait till tomorrow? What should I actually ask them when I chase them up? Like, how does that need to sound for it to not sound salesy or pushy? Yeah. So you ask yourself the question like, oh, what should I say? I don't want to be a nag. I don't want to be salesy. Okay. But the fact remains, you have to follow them up, because if you don't follow them up, you're never going to know why they didn't buy on the day. You're never going to know whether or not you were a good fit for them. They just needed a little bit more help to make a decision. You're never going to know that. So you have to follow them up. Okay. So my invitation for you is to get out of your own head. Stop telling yourself that following them up is going to make you sound salesy, because it isn't. Okay. Because I'm going to give you a tip how not to sound salesy. If you follow them up and say, when are we going to work together? Or have you made a decision yet? I don't know why I'm doing this, but you know what I mean. You're typing at this point, yeah. So if you're thinking that you're going to email them and say, have you made a decision? If not, when are you going to make a decision? Yeah, that sounds like you're following them up, that you're chasing them. My invitation to you is to swap that out and to make that follow up more personal. Talk about things that you talked about during the discovery call. Refresh their memory about what they told you that they wanted, and why what they wanted was so important, and why what they wanted was urgent. And instead of chasing them up in a nagging way, chase them up with some value. So maybe chase them up and give them access to a freebie that you think might help them. Give them some insight into, if they shared a particular problem that they're having, give them a little bit of insight or a top tip, something that's worked for you that might help them. Yeah. So don't slide into their messages nagging. Slide into their messages as the number one, online best friend that they have, the person that's there going to help them, the person that they associate with support. Yeah, a cheerleader. Be their new best friend. Don't nag them, give them value. Okay, so if it feels like they might be ghosting you and you want to chase them, give them some value, give them some love, remind them about the conversation that you had the day before, and make it personal. Okay, so get out of your own head. You're not being salesy by doing this. And I want to remind you this, right? If somebody says no to your invitation to work together, if they say no, that doesn't mean that they don't like you. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that your program's rubbish. It doesn't mean it's not worth the price tag and that nobody else is ever going to buy it. Yet these are the things that we tell ourselves when we get ghosted. Because the longer it goes for that ideal client that you've had a great discovery call with that then doesn't reply to your emails, the longer that goes on, the more that I know you have that little voice going, it's because your program's rubbish. It's because it's too expensive. It's because of the way that you ran the call. They didn't like you. You didn't come across as warm. You weren't friendly. Yeah, they didn't want to work with you. They found somebody nicer than you. The longer that ghosting goes on, the more that you get in your own head. So my invitation for you is get out of your own head. Remind yourself your program is good. Yeah, you've had clients that have had value from it. You've got testimonials. You know it's good. You've got years of experience. Don't let the fact that one client hasn't returned your call make you suddenly start doubting everything. Okay? So if it happens, actually, I'm not going to say if it happens, when it happens, we all get ghosted sometimes, me included, right? Me included. And I've been in sales 25 years. It's going to happen. But remember, the best thing that you can do to stop it happening is to agree with them during the discovery call. When are we going to speak again? When can we have a conversation again? So if they say, what's a typical one? I need to talk to my partner. That happens quite a lot. I have people say that to me, and there will be coaches out there that would tell you at that point that you should turn up the pressure and you should be asking them questions like, well, who's going to come on the coaching, you or your partner? Why do you need to ask your partner? It's not their coaching, it's yours. Are they a shareholder in your business? Why do you need to ask them? No, my advice is don't ask them any of those questions. Do not turn on the pressure at that point. All that's going to do is alienate you. All that's going to do is make you come across like you're just looking for a sale. And that is not the relationship that you want with your client. It might get you a sale, it might get you money in the bank, but this is a real human being that you want to work with. why would you want to start off your coaching relationship with them on that basis? So don't do the pressure. If they say that they want to speak to their partner, show empathy for that. I understand that. I'm guessing that your finances are joint finances in the household. So I understand why you want to speak to your partner. When shall we arrange to catch up again? Shall I give you a call at midday tomorrow? Yeah, no pressure, but you do need to agree when you're going to follow up. Okay, so I hope that this has been helpful. I don't have any questions here in the chat box, so there's nothing for me to answer. That if you are watching on replay, drop me hashtag replay and drop me your questions. If you have struggled to deal with being ghosted by a customer, or maybe you're struggling to convert your discovery calls, you get right to the end of the call and then you just can't quite get it over the line. If that happens for you, either drop me a comment below or just DM me. Maybe you don't want to put it publicly, and I get that, okay? So if you are struggling, drop me a DM and I'll see if I can offer you some tips or some advice, something that's more specific to exactly what's going on with your situation. So that's it from me, guys. Just a quick live tonight, just to give you some tips around being ghosted. For anybody that hasn't seen, I have got a masterclass that's running on the 27th of May, which is next week on Thursday. So if you want to learn my 5-week framework for how to launch an online program with success, yeah, so a nice 5-figure launch, if you want to come and learn how I plan my launches, then I'm going to deliver a masterclass for you and give you my calendar, my planner, my 5-week planner for your launch. So please do register for that, totally free, obvs. But I'd love to have some people here from the group. I think we've already got quite a few people here from the group registered. But if you haven't registered, where have you been? Why are you not registered? Come and register. I will drop the link below this video for you. It's also over on my Instagram bio link as well. And there's a few posts recently here in the group that I've got the link to register for that masterclass. So if you do want to learn my 5-week framework for how to launch your online program with success, not silence, we don't want a silent launch, do we? If you want to learn that, then come and join my masterclass. And I will see you then. Mwah! Lovely to have you here watching with me. Bye, guys.